Hello, Mr. Ben Carter. Thank you so much for joining me today.
No, thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about Talero.
Oh, well, Talero Organic Tequilas, we launched it on January 1st of 2016. We acquired the brand in 2015. It was officially started in 2012 as by some record producers, the Avila brothers, and it did not do well. And so we were approached with the opportunity of owning the brand and becoming the first 100% black-owned tequila brand in the world. I would sign on, come on as if it was a real tequila, not the tequila for, as you say, gringos. And so I made sure. So when they first told me it was organic, I was like, I said, okay, let me see what it is. It's not a gimmick. And then I tasted it and I said, okay, this is real authentic Mexican tequila. This is how tequila should taste.
And what would you say is the difference between gringo tequila and authentically produced Mexican tequila?
Well, our tagline is built upon that because we believe that good tequila shouldn't taste bad. Plain and simple. And you've been conditioned and taught that tequila, that you only drink tequila for either if you want to fornicate or if you want to fight. Okay. And that's this automatic blowback when you shoot it down. When you're supposed to enjoy it like a wine, and therefore that's why we placed in a wine bottle, because most traditional tequilas are in usually squat bottles. So we like to give it, that we want you to incorporate it into your daily lifestyle.
With Talero, you can just sort of sip on it.
Yes, and the whole thing was that yes, it is a sipping tequila very well, and but also we also, the beauty of our tequila is that you can cook with our tequila. We have a whole culinary menu to go along with our our brands of tequila, and so we incorporate, that's what we say, we want you to incorporate it into your daily lifestyle, so where you can have margarita cupcakes, you can have shrimp with tequila, tequila tinges on it, beef roast tips, margarita salads, stuff like that.
All sounds delicious.
Benefits of organic tequila. So it helps fight. It's a stimulant, so it doesn't it puts you to sleep. It helps fight against osteoporosis. It calms your nerves. It also if you have arthritis, it's a good way to attack arthritis. It's a probiotic. Oh. So and also you say you can cook with it with real authentic tequila. And so, therefore, it's a, that's why I said it's an education. That's why we want to educate you, every time you are come in contact with our tequila.
Well, you said you acquired it. How did you know it was a business you wanted to get into? Like, what sort of analysis did you do?
Well, the thing was that you're right, because the tequila business is a very crowded business now. It's now the vodka of spirit, of in the spirits world. Because remember, everybody and mama had a vodka in the early 2010s, and so that's why we felt that we had and I felt that they had a special niche, that it was organic, and there was no one pushing and marketing and branding the organic tequila.
So that's actually what drew me to your booth at the Blacks Owned Spirits Festival, was the fact that you said it was organic.
Right.
I haven't seen that a lot on the market. So what makes it organic? Like, what in your process makes it organic?
We don't use any growth accelerants, no pesticides, no carcinogens on our agave plants.
Okay.
So so the whole process is that they plant the agave. And then when it finally matures, to make it mature, a lot of times, a lot of the tequila companies would take a lot of shortcuts. So they would take, a lot of growing agents. So for example, Patron is, it's a multi-billion-dollar company. So in order to meet that volume, they put growing agents in it, and it cut down on the aging time on it.
Oh,
And
wow.
so, yeah, so that's why you get that burning sensation with Patron, because they're cutting corners. And so our whole thing is that we take our time in doing it. For example, our silver, most silvers are 1 to 3 months. Ours is 6 to 12 months.
Okay.
Our reposado is 12 to 20 months, and then of course our añejo is 3 years plus.
Okay.
Whereas most añejos and reposados, whereas reposados are 6 to 12, and then 12 to 18 for their añejos. Also, we take more time in it and getting certified. We are certified by 3 agencies of record. So we're certified USDA organic, CRT, which is the Consejo de Regulación de Tequila, which is the of Mexico, and then the Bauer AgriCert Foundation of Italy. And
Oh, okay.
yes, so we, it's not like, we're just saying we're organic to be organic. When you look at our bottle, you see the 3 organizations that certify that it's organic or otherwise, and we're the only one that does that.
Wow. Have you encountered any sort of roadblocks as you try to get Talero off the ground, especially as a Black man in the tequila business?
Yeah, I would say financing, definitely.
Mm.
It's fine. I wouldn't say as far as distributor wise, no, because the organic thing does stand out for everybody. But getting financing from like lending institutions and the banking, because you said before, a lot of people don't understand that in order to make it in this game, you have to market, brand yourself, and you have to do events, such like the Black Owned Wine Spirits Festival. And you constantly had to have people, in their face, because we're going against, the Patrons, the Don Julios, the 1800s, and the Jose Cuervos who've been in the game since, the 1800s.
Right, right.
So and so you have to, find different ways to innovate and, do different types of marketing and branding. And that costs money from a lot of times.
Do you think that there is discrimination on that side of the house as well?
Yeah, big time.
Big time. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because for example, well, because if you're starting out, they're gonna run a credit check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They want to see 3 years of financials. Like if you do a standard bank institution, a lending institution. So therefore, usually the way you have to start off is that you got to get angel investors or investors who are equity, or you give them a piece of the equity. And then you got to make sure you ask for enough that where it can last you for 3 years plus.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't leave. They usually recommend that if you're going to launch a label, if you don't ask for 15 million.
15 million.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. I mean, if you really, you really want to compete.
A $15 million loan.
Yes.
Ooh, that gives me heart palpitations. Ooh.
I mean, and if you really want to be a player, it's 25 million.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because you get, once you start thinking about it, you got to do brand ambassadors, promotional models, you got to have swag, you have promotional stuff, you got to have, staff, then, just the marketing and branding alone, that adds up.
Do you have someone on your team who does your marketing and branding?
You're talking to them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's you and you have one partner.
No, it's 2 partners.
2 partners.
Yes.
And you guys do all the work.
Yes.
You mentioned marketing and, getting the name of your product out there. Black spirit makers, do you guys talk? Do you have some sort of
Yeah.
coalition? How does that work?
Yes. It's a small world. I do give it up to Chanel
Hmm.
over in DC when she did the black owned, and then we have Tiffany Richardson down here in Atlanta. She does her. So you have the Black owned wine spirits expo down here
Oh,
in
okay.
Atlanta, and the festival is up in DC. And so what we say, we all, we said, when we all met together, either in DC or Atlanta, you just started, trading cards and you kept each other in touch. As you said before, knock on wood, I think we're the only one that's tequila, black owned, 100% black owned. But yeah, but at the same time, you look at, you say, there's room for everybody.
Right. Absolutely.
Hmm. So because the worst thing you could do as a black owned business is say, I got mine. You gotta get yours.
Right.
If you make it, oh well. Good for you. But if you don't, oh
Yeah.
well. There's more money for me.
I'm
So
actually glad to hear that.
yeah, but you said before, like when the Uncle Nearest whiskey launched, I met them and I went up to their distillery up in Tennessee, just in support them.
Hmm.
I deal with Island John Vodka. I deal with a lot of business with. I deal with Wild Creek Distillery, which makes moonshine. They're black moonshiners.
Oh yes, out of Georgia.
Exactly. And then I deal with a couple wine makers, and we just all keep in touch. And then we relay if anything is happening on the on the industry front. And it's because as you said before, we're going against Goliaths,
Yeah.
multi-billion Goliaths. People don't understand
So is
that.
there anything that you would have done differently on your journey with Talero?
Yes, I would would have definitely would have had more banking and financial lending. That's why I always say the capital.
Yeah.
Because they said for first three, if you're making money in your first 3 years, you're doing very well.
Okay.
When you launch a brand. So in the first 3 years, it's gonna you need to have where you're meeting payroll and you're able to do incentives with the sellers and distributors. So
Hmm.
where because um, you see the name of the game is a lot of times a lot of people are you make your pitch and then a conglomerate comes in and they're like, well, we have whiskey, vodka, tequila, wine, cognac. We can give that to you at half the price that
Right.
we're pitching at.
Right.
So yeah.
How does that process work exactly? So it's made in Mexico, and
Yeah.
then what happens next?
So we're made in Jalisco, which is the tequila capital of the world.
Okay.
Jalisco is about an hour and a half northeast of Mexico City,
Okay.
and it's in Guadalajara, and the state of Guadalajara.
So
And
it's once it's made in Guadalajara,
yes,
how does it get
and Jalisco.
in Jalisco? How does it get to the United States?
So we have an importer. They bring it into East Laredo, Texas, which is right across the border,
Okay.
and then we have warehouses there, and New Jersey and California.
Okay.
And so then that's where you get into where the United States is really it's complicated and it's really complex. So each state is a different country as far as liquor laws.
I have discovered that as I've tried going online to order, and I live in Maryland, and I can't have
Yeah.
it delivered to me.
There you go. Like for example, and so you have to have distributors. So in Atlanta, there's 7 basically distributors in Georgia for the state of Georgia, and it's not nothing's not done on paper. It's a handshake, and yes,
How does it
and
work exactly. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, and also they can decide whether or not to sell you or not. And if you want to change distributors, you can't. You have to find another product for them to trade with that other distributor. If not, you have to wait another 3 years to then. Yeah. So that's what I say. If you, it's basically a marriage. It's a 1950s
are
marriage.
there any black-owned distributors?
Yes, Chanel has one.
Okay.
There's one in Maryland too. Legacy Distribution. That's it. If
In
I
the United
do,
States.
I think so. I think don't quote me, but I went to the national wine spirit show, and I heard there's maybe one or two more.
Okay.
Most five black distributors in the whole United States, which is horrible.
Yeah, that is not good.
That's horrible. That's why they came up with the whole black owned wine spirits expo in a festival, because I mean it was seen as they were not getting the respect and that deserved by distributors.
Did you find that to be the case with Talero?
Oh yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
how did you convince distributors your product was great?
Yeah. Well, we went to this thing called the Wine Spirits Expo in Las Vegas, and we met with all the distributors there. Um, and you gotta keep going to those types of events. And then after that, you have to show that you have the marketing dollars. That's why I said that financing is definitely the number one thing, is that you have to have financing.
So what advice would you give someone who's looking to start their own spirits business?
The brand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first I would say uh, make sure it's quality brand and the brand that you like. Okay. The reason why I say that is because I've said this to a lot of people, and I say this to my partners. If this was a bad tasting tequila, or excuse my French, a shitty tequila, we would have been out of business two years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember actually thinking like, wow, this is pretty smooth. I didn't even realize there were black owned tequila companies. So
Right, but that's what I said.
yeah.
You know that as I said before, if it was a bad, if it was a tequila that made your chest burn, or you had to like oof, and you just threw it in the trash, we would have been gone. Yeah, we would have been not having this conversation now.
Yeah.
And because people ask, you're a black on tequila, are you only going after black people? I'm like, no,
No.
you know,
Not even,
because tequila is like, it's universal.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, and so yeah, and especially when I put organic, I get even more
Yeah.
people, I get more white people go, ooh, wow, okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I will say though that, there's been this with the events recently with the killing of George Floyd and
yep,
Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, there has been a resurgence of people, who want to actually support
I
Black-owned
agree.
businesses. And so that's why I compiled that list of Black-owned spirits, because I think it's important to support you guys, and especially knowing after going to the Spirits Festival last year, that it's hard to find your products on our shelves sometimes.
Hmm.
They're just not there.
Hmm.
Especially if you don't live near where they're produced. I know a lot of places in Atlanta and Georgia in general probably, have your spirits around, but in Baltimore, I can't really find it.
Yep, and that was my thing, is that I did, that's why I signed up with a lot of online distributors called
Hmm.
Liberation Distribution during that time when the COVID first hit. I signed with Illinois, Wisconsin, Florida, California, New York, and I think for one other state. But anyway, and then I would make sure that it delivers. You can have it delivered to your favorite restaurant or your favorite liquor store. And then I put upon that also, if your liquor store doesn't carry it, ask for it. And then I'd say, this is our distributor. And then say, if they ask, do they carry Talero? No. Well, then, can I, have them order it, and this is their distributor, and they call the distributor, and the distributor will deliver it to them, and then
Even if they don't usually work together, they can still.
exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And restaurants, you can ask a restaurant to get it, or do restaurants normally have
The
distributors?
restaurant has to call the distributor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's all about the distributors.
There you go.
So what's next for Talero?
We'll be in France, Germany, UK, Australia,
Are
and
those
Argentina.
distributors or distributors you currently work with?
That's with a superstore called Gion.
Okay.
Gion is a like Target
Okay.
of Europe, and then we're also going to be with in Holland and Italy with this other and Weight Stores. I'm sorry, which is like a Whole Foods conglomerate.
I mean, those are pretty big moves. I mean,
Yes, it's taken a while though. We've been working on it for the last 3 years.
oh, why so long?
That's a lot. We might have to do another dealing with the European commissions, and then also in August, I also that's what I also done. I've partnered with Alibaba, and
Oh,
so we're going to be doing online sales with Alibaba. And so right now distributors and importers can only buy on Alibaba, but we'll go where you can buy online on Alibaba in August.
gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this has been a great conversation. Thanks so much.
No, thank you for having me.